Hey everybody, this is Avrage here, and we're just going to talk about Perth Glory for this season so far. So, at the moment, Glory is in one of the worst spots at ever, okay? But they're not last, okay? But they could have been a little bit better, okay? And by a little better, I mean much better, okay? Let's talk from the preseason back to now. So, in the preseason, we did alright, okay? We lost against a second-tier team in Queensland in Australian Cup. But then, after all that, okay, we did alright in the preseason. But the thing is, once we start our first game in MacArthur, it went all bad. All that, it's just so damn bad. It's not that funny. It's not that funny. I just couldn't believe about how we started that game, okay? From the MacArthur game and now back to the Melbourne Victory game, which was today, okay? I'm just trying to understand, right? How did Stan get these players, okay? Is it by, like, oh, you watch them, like, highlights and be like, oh, I should get him onto my team? Really? Is that how you want to do it? Okay? I mean, they just grabbing players randomly at this point, okay? They just get these players from Colombia, get this player from Ecuador, and now Croatia. But I'm excited for that new transfer, but... Anyways, enough about that. I'm just trying to understand about these random players who just transfer over here. I don't think, and let me be clear, I don't think most of these players are actually playing for our club. I'm not joking. These players just want to be traffic cones, okay? And you can see from the today match, they literally just trying to be like traffic cones at the moment, okay? We can't defend that much, but we can't even attack that much as well, which is honestly one of the upsetting moments ever. We can't, I would say, here's the thing, guys, okay? If we go over to like India, for example, we're not gonna beat them, okay? That's the truth. Or maybe under 15s, okay? We could not beat them. But that's just me yapping at the moment, alright? But the only positive, and let me be clear, the only positive is the only players that I will love is the youth players, okay? Cameron Cook, Ngo, those players are really good, okay? They have the potential to go all out. But with the players they are playing with, I just feel so sorry for them. Okay, they should be gonna be really good in like a couple years, but with the way they are playing, it just what are we doing? What are we actually doing to them? Because I feel so sorry. All right, I'm sorry, but. But let's talk about David, okay? He's like now 50, but then he never coached. Why did we choose him? Why don't we choose like a better coach, like from somewhere in Europe or something? Like someone who knows about soccer, okay? Yes, David can, commentate about the soccer, give some insight on what's to come, okay, because he was from SBS doing the soccer stuff. But other than that, I don't know if we should get him out, okay? I know Brisbane Roar want their coach out, but for David, I feel so sorry, okay? I know he's trying his best, but why did we choose him? Okay, I would have suggested that David should have do second tier, not not like him being assistant coach in Sydney FC, but it just like, it's now painful as a fan of Glory who wanted to actually see someone scoring goal. We only got 4 goals, okay, just 4 goals, and a lot of goals are conceded. Like, please, guys, can we have some hope that you guys are actually working together, getting the possession? We need the bloody possession. You guys think like, let's pass it to an opponent. Okay? You guys don't do that. You need to pass it to the Glory players and literally attack, get the ball into the goal net. Because, my God, I could easily coach, like, I don't know, like under 15s, 5-a-side, okay, and win like 10-0, okay? It's just like, their tactics, it's just like, they need to play a lot of FIFA, okay? But yeah, I'm just pretty upset. Guys, please, like, tell me something in the comments about how you feel with Perth Glory, okay? If you are a Perth Glory fan, or an A-League fan, or a soccer fan, okay? Or football fan, whatever, okay? Thank you, guys, okay? It is a tough time being a Glory fan, but it just, everything is going crazy. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 16 of the Glory Days podcast. And,
we're cooking.
We were back. Episode 15 was a bit of a lighter episode because, we got a nice little point on the road against Adelaide, and we're snapped back to reality with that game against Melbourne Victory.
Yeah. They're a good tease act, the Glory. They bait you in and they go, we might actually play some half-decent football. Like, we looked okay against Adelaide for as much as we rode our luck, and then normal service resumed against Melbourne Victory, and we had quite a fair amount of thoughts from the viewers and some non-viewers after the game, because us losing the Victory, that was 7 games played this season, 0 wins, 0 wins in the last 17. Mm-hmm. If we don't beat Newcastle on the weekend or Brisbane the following week, we will equal a league record for the longest winless run in the competition's history. That goes as far back to the New Zealand Knights. So it's not looking good.
We're somehow not last.
Yeah,
we're somehow not last.
You're also going to have to forgive us if we get a bit irritable at one point in this recording, because it is currently
38 degrees or
38
something.
degrees,
and we're in a shed.
And we're in a shed. So
we've been locked up.
Yes.
I just want to note real quick, if any Brisbane fans are listening, or Brisbane, anyone that works there, Brisbane Raw, please do not sack Ruben Zatkovic.
Oh no, don't do it.
Please.
Don't
do it. Such a good
do it
coach.
after.
As a Perth
Generation.
Glory supporter.
I wish we gave him more time at the Glory. Really would have turned it around.
I just wish we kept him.
Absolutely,
I don't think you should sack him.
So we'll before we begin, we'll go into the viewers' thoughts like we normally do at the start of every podcast. And we had a lot. We had over 6,000 people view our tweet on Twitter.
I thought you were going to say 6,000 people respond.
No, I wish. Well, it's almost more than a Glory game at this rate. So we had Alan Lazaridis has to go. A certain individual by the name of Finn with some flags in his bio. I don't even know if I can be bothered to go to HBF Park to watch the game next week if we're going to perform like we have all season. Big changes needed from top to bottom at the club. Questions need to be asked and people need to be held accountable for what has or hasn't been done. Money gangbang, yo shit. I was at the game yesterday. You guys did nothing all day. It was like 15 shots to 0 at half time. Not sure where your club is going from here. That's a real name, by the way. We haven't made that up. It just sort of spawned out of nowhere.
I didn't read these beforehand as well, so just hearing that from you, James.
Sorry. So, liquidation twice in a year. You'll never sing that. At least one centre back has to be dropped. Don't mind which, but the combination does not work. Alistair, dismal showing once again. It's always one step forward, 2 steps back with this club. So much promise and absolutely nothing to show for it. Changes are needed. Ewan, I had a very shit afternoon watching this game whilst trying to buy tickets on the Glory website for the Glory women's match at the same time. Overall, this club makes me lose brain cells. Fabio, this Saturday's game will give a true indication of where we are at. Based on the result, we can play the Lazaridis out card or live to fight another week. I don't blame Zrilic. He has nothing to work with. Whitaker Walt, not exactly glory days then. Ha ha ha, very funny.
Haven't heard that before.
Oh, never heard that. Oh, very funny.
What's the glory in Perth Glory for?
It is sad to see what has become of Perth Glory. Should be one of the top teams with among the best support in the A-League. Michael Orwell, Glory have a double problem. Wrong players and COVID. It affected more than most teams. It'll come back. Unlike Brisbane, that might need a new manager change. It just needs time. There is a defence weakness. It might be the coaching or the players, but I think it just needs time. Georgios, Melbourne Victory fan. The first time actually properly watching Glory, and it looked like no one gave a shit. No game plan. Body language was terrible. I wonder what's going on. James Marin, don't even know what to say anymore. I get David can only use the players he's been given from Stan, but stuff me, I don't see anything from David this season. Adelaide game for once actually saw something. Today's game was by far one of the worst performances I've seen in years. And what made it worse, David was standing there with his hands in his pockets the entire game. Meanwhile, Patrick Isnorbo was 2-0 up and still barking orders. The difference between the two was rather embarrassing. I think David is on borrowed time, sadly. And then finally, Hasbulla. First time head coach, first time football director. If that doesn't tell you what Ross thinks of Perth Glory, if he was serious, they'd be gone before January. The coach came with a philosophy and now has changed. Blames players, not my fault. Accountability in all caps. So a lot to digest there. We may as well start with the lineup from the Victory game. So there were 2 changes. Hamzawi out. Wallen, who had played no game time in pre-season or even during the season, in, and then Osler out, and then Carluccio in.
Can we just hold on a moment for that Riley Wallen pick? Now, look, I understand Riley Wallen. He wasn't the most brilliant player we had last season. He was a serviceable left back at time. How the hell does this man go the entire preseason without playing any football? He goes the entire A-League season without even having a sub-on appearance, and he goes straight to starting a game against Melbourne Victory, which are probably one of the best attacking teams in the league, while you've got Zach Lizalowski sitting on the bench?
Well, that's the thing. Like, we're starting Faisal. Well, we didn't this game, but like we're starting our younger players, and I don't understand how you start him and then bring on Wallen later. Maybe it was the experience, but
how can experience be justified when there's been no conditioning beforehand? That's my problem. It's like if you've got a guy that's been out cold pretty much and has only done training, and we've already had all this discourse about players being underdone, why are we throwing in someone who would be underdone when you've got someone like Zach, who was sort of given a baptism by fire for us in the MacArthur game, but you know, he needs games so that he can learn. Why not give him another challenge of going up against someone like Santos in the Victory game? Because at least he wasn't on Risen's side where he was dealing with Arzani. But I think it would have been a challenge that Zach could have taken on, and maybe we did need that slightly more defensive edge, and maybe Zach could have given us. And obviously we're saying that in hindsight. But I just think that decision in particular baffled me.
I don't think, like, in reality, I don't think whether you start Zach or Walland, we win that game.
Oh, no.
Obviously.
No.
But
that's not the spirit.
No. Well, how many shots
You're
did you have?
not believing hard, Dave.
One. I think 1 shot.
2.
Well, it wasn't one of them offsides.
No, it was 2 shots and 2 on target.
2, yeah.
And
then plus 1 offside.
Taggart scored and he was offside.
Yeah, he's so offside.
Yeah,
I think we've all been pretty complacent when it comes to Zrilla and not really putting any blame on him. But
I wouldn't say complacent. I would have just said it's more. The problems have been bigger than him at this point.
Yeah,
he's the lesser of about 4 evils.
Correct, but I do think the selections over the weekend were really odd. Like leaving Zach off completely when he's already had game time in pre-season,
and then an Asmo on the bench out of nowhere.
It confused me. It's the first lineup all season. Like obviously all the lineups have not been great because they can't be great because there's no really great players to pick from. But this lineup in particular, when you looked at the options we did have, it just didn't make any sense. Like there are so many other plays you could have put in, and obviously Taras also. We all kind of agreed last week that we maybe would rather have Brandon there just to start to see how he does with the experience, because Taras, I think, once again kind of showed that he's not ready to play in that kind of role, because he got beat a lot off the ball.
One thing I will say, one of my mates, Western Sydney fan, he started a YouTube channel called A-League.
Shit video, by the way. I saw his predictions for this game. I'll give him a shout out, because he was basically saying the Glory Newcastle game is going to be bloody terrible, and he was salivating over, obviously Western Sydney, being a Western Sydney fan himself, but yeah, he was giving us a fair bit of shit.
But he did make a good point.
No, yeah.
The thing is, he said our squad isn't actually that bad, and the fact that I think it was like 100.
Yeah.
What was the stat?
I will just say this. In terms of the depth, the depth is not the problem. The depth is not bad. The problem is the actual starting quality of the team is not good.
Well, if you're having, at the end of the game, Melbourne Victory having 43 touches in our box compared to 1 touch from us in their box, them having 100 final third entries compared to our 35. I don't know if that's a record or not, but 100 final third entries in 90
more
minutes.
More than 1 minute.
It's unheard of, man.
I think
it's
that
unheard
shows, like, I'm not solely blaming Dave, but I think that shows that there is a problem with the system he's playing. It's not working. Even though our squad, yes, it's not the greatest, but it's not that bad. It's not bad enough to justify 100.
No, well, we've been pretty kind, I would say, to David, given some of our comments towards other coaches that have been in his position before.
Yeah.
Given we've been quite critical of, let's say, Garcia or Zadkovic or even Stadge at times of not having a clear identity or a clear tactical system. But I think at this point, I could accept initially, and I think we all could, when we were getting thrashed, okay, it's a bit of a baptism by fire, but the international break should have been a period where we improved our overall game model and we had time to get boys up to full speed. Yet that Victory game, I think we basically dropped our heads before the whistle even went off. I think we were defeated mentally, and you could see that. I think Victory were just all over us. We didn't have any answers, and the fact that at halftime we had no shots.
Yeah.
For me, that's not acceptable.
No. And even like going into the game, before I'd even watched it, I knew, we'll probably lose 2-0. That's pretty realistic. But just they were all over us. Like it was just so.
It should have been so much more.
It was honestly embarrassing to watch.
Like the amount of last minute goal line clearances, or I think they hit the post goal times. Jason Gary outskied it right near the end.
Former Glory player.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Jason. But in my opinion, we all watched the game.
Yep.
Should have been at least 4.
No, I should have been probably north of that, I think, for me.
Yeah.
The amount of chances and how... It's not the fact that they had so many chances, Alex, but I think it was more like how easy it was. I think the worst one was, even though nothing happened, when Brendan Hamill sort of peeled off, Arzani was like, oh yeah, I'm going to shoot, psych, and then he just played it to Hamill.
Do you think our main problem, because obviously, to be fair, to our defence, as much as we hammer them, they did all right this game. It could have easily been, as you said.
No, it's big. No, I'll spend, and Alex, you can have your say in this, but I think for me, it wasn't so much we defended well or managed to cope with it, but Victory's finishing was fucking dreadful.
Ridiculously bad.
My main point is, do you think... I feel like we got to put more blame on our midfield, because I just don't think it's working, because really I think we should have had more control of the game. We couldn't control it.
Yeah, but if we'll go on the first goal that my chat scored, I watched it back. You'll notice that it was a press, and Pennington, the ball got to Pennington, but his touch was too heavy, and then Gomulka got beaten. Oh. But the worst thing for me was a player like Machach was able to receive in so much space. The system
I was going to mention this.
The system needs you to step up, to be aggressive, to be proactive and front-footed. Meanwhile, you've got Lockie Barr already packing his bags and going home.
He's running away.
When you need, it's like you have to step up.
Yeah.
And then as Machach is going, it's still like, no, it's all right. No, have the keys to Melbourne. That's all right. Keep going.
Watching Lockie Barr defend is like playing a game of fucking Subway Surfers where you're watching the little kid run, jump all over the trains and shit. He's doing anything to fucking avoid that ball.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely insane to watch.
That's such a strange...
It's a strange analogy, but it works.
It somehow
You
works.
put
yeah.
Avrage into stress
a
league,
bit of a
Lockie.
weird
What are you
analogy.
doing?
Honestly. And look, we were all down at the shoe watching this, so we got a first-hand experience to what some of the other Glory fans were thinking, and I think the key word is just embarrassing. Holy shit! The amount of there's not a lot of occasions where I've seen grown men genuinely losing their shit streaming at a TV, calling players.
We'll bleep that out.
We'll bleep that out. But oh my lord, it was nearly visceral. The reaction that some of the fans were having, and it's completely justified. Because look, there's only one thing that's worse than losing a game, and that's getting absolutely dominated. And that's why, losses to teams last season under Stadge, a lot of the times we could deal with them because we could see that at least Stadge had the balls to just sort of throw shit out there and just see what stuck.
Yeah,
and we got the occasion.
We were just competitive, bro.
Yeah.
I just think, and I hate to say this because I still think Zrilic is a great coach, and I still would want to see him given some proper time and some proper investment, some proper backing by the board. But his style in recent weeks, especially in that victory game and in other games such as against Wellington, even though we're coming up against teams that I do think that we could do damage against, he's not taking the risks necessary. And that's one thing that's sort of striking to me, is that when you watch Stadge, and you watch how Stadge played with us last season, you could tell that a lot of the times we weren't the better team, but we were still going out there and we were still giving it a crack and we were still throwing people forward, trying to hit quick on counters and just do what we could. And even when it didn't work, it was still worth going to watch the game and see if we could actually pull something out.
Yeah.
But with Zrilic, when I watch it, it looks so
it's badly
just
coached.
intimidating.
I don't know if this makes sense, but I feel like Dave is he's like Pep.
No, it makes no sense.
No, because
what do you mean?
You can't. Pep's good at City, right? But if you put him into
you're
if
using...
you take him to Everton.
This is the point that I made. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
A couple weeks ago, the Pep Guardiola theory.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola theory. If you put a good manager in a shit team, they'll do shit because you need good players to be able to play good football. You can't play good football with shit players.
I think
Incorrect.
Who?
Ancelotti. He took over Everton and had us top of the label.
I disagree.
He put Everton at top by Christmas with James Rodriguez at 38 years old and Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
But that's Ancelotti.
But you can. If you're a really good manager like Ancelotti, you can.
But how often
are you
do you
saying that Pep Guardiola is not a really good manager?
Yeah, like I'm saying, he's with the good players, but Ancelotti's better.
I would say that Pep Guardiola is a better manager than Carlo Ancelotti, but I would say Ancelotti could probably do it with a sort of like mid-team, and I don't think Guardiola could.
I agree,
but there's a reason that Guardiola doesn't coach mid-teams, and that's
this is a Perth Glory podcast. Anyway,
but back on to David though. I think the fact that the one point for me is that okay, you can be shit, let's say defensively, but I'd at least expect us to be very good or at least half decent offensively when we have the ball. Yeah, when we have the ball, we're hopeless. Like, I don't think we've seen for a long time in the A-League a team that's shit at both ends. Like, normally with Glory at least, we might leak in shitloads of goals, but at least we'd be somewhat entertaining going forward. But at this point, whenever we have the ball, I don't know what our plan is. We were sort of trying to transition, but then we couldn't keep the ball for 2 to 3 seconds. And then David mentioned it in his press conference where it's like, all right, because we can't keep the ball, we're defending so much more than we need to. And when our defence gets exposed already, like it does pretty much every single game, the fact that we can't keep the ball, it just fries me, man. So
I just think Dave's the wrong coach. Sorry, Dave isn't the right coach for the players that we have, but I don't know what coach would be the right coach for the players we have. I just think we've messed up because we brought in all these Perth boys or just players that look good on paper, but haven't. We should have brought in Dave earlier and thought about.
I think we brought him in at the right time, but he's a victim of circumstance, and the circumstance is that he's got the wrong players. He hasn't got the squad that he needs to play his football. And look, if we're saying, what coach would be able to do it? No coach would be able to get this side that we currently have to top 6. And I know we have some good players. We've got Risdon, we've got O'Neill, we've got Taggart, Kunga, Sale. We've got some good players. But every good player we have
There's
has
a polar bear.
Okay, I just want to ask you a quick question.
Every good
Alex.
player we have, there's a downside to.
Yeah.
Kunga can't fucking speak English.
No, hold on.
O'Neill is old and slow.
I'm gonna ask you guys a quick question.
What?
If let's say you're the director of football, right?
Right.
You've been given a budget.
Right.
You don't know what coach you're bringing in, but in like a month's time, you're gonna bring in a coach, and you need a rebuild. But you need to start signing players now. What players wouldn't have you signed that we've signed?
It's not so much that. It's David apparently, from what Stan sent in that email before he was officially announced as our head coach, was that he was working with David behind the scenes in June before he was officially announced in July. So Stan rightly does deserve criticism for the lack of quality that the squad has, but I refuse to believe at the same time that Stan himself would have just been signing all the players and David would have gone, no, I don't want him. And Stan would have gone, no, sorry, fuck you, I'm director of football.
No, but this is a very common thing, though, and it's happened on multiple occasions at, big Premier League clubs.
Yeah.
Case in point, all those reports saying that when Sancho joined United, that Ten Hag didn't even want him there, but they signed him because the opportunity was there.
No, it wasn't Ten Hag.
Oh, it wasn't Ten Hag, sorry, it was... Solskjaer, that's it. There's plenty of cases of...
But we're not like that though. We're the A-League.
I'm aware, but it just shows you can go up to these big levels, and there will still be sort of, are you telling me that you can go to Manchester United and their CEO or their director of football or whatever is not in direct collusion with the coach? Because it matters more there. It relates entirely to on-field performances.
Yeah, they're cooperating, but I'm just my other point is I'm saying that I refuse to believe that of the 15 players that we've signed, including Tomislav Muchala recently, that it wouldn't have been in consultation with David. Are you happy with this signing?
I think it would have been, but at the same time, you've also got to remember that David would have clearly had his ideas set out on what the signings wanted, and we've been told numerous times that there were several high-profile targets that the Glory were going after that we ended up getting cheaped out of. And I fully believe, and I would really not be surprised if this came out to be true, but a strong part of me believes that David was sold a dream on this, that he was told, we've got deals for this player lined up and this player, look, here's the confirmation, whatever. He signs on, and we've backed out of numbers of deals to deal with debt problems. And also, we'll get onto it at some point later, but I want to know very, very much so what's happening with this whole ATO thing, and if that has anything to do with the reasoning why we've cut behind on signings.
We'll park that for the meantime because we'll jump back. We'll jump back into the game. But the second goal from Traore.
What a finish! To be fair,
you'll see when Guerrier has the ball. One pass takes out 5 Glory players. Yeah. You've got Arzani who's drifted into that number 10 role because Victory's attacking 4 are so fluid, it's ridiculous. He gets the ball. And now he's running at our back 4. Pretty much the exact same scenario for Machat's goal, where you've got dangerous players running at our back 4. They've got to retreat. They're not organised. You can literally see Kunga throwing his hands up going, what the fuck? And then an excellent slide rule pass to the advantage of Traore and a good finish from Melbourne Victory. But again, the lack of cohesion in the way in which we play, whether it be home or away, is fucking scary, with and without the ball. We can't defend. And I just don't understand why at this point in the season our team shape defensively is so wide open or can be carved apart with one pass. That shouldn't be happening at this level, especially after the time that we've had during the international break where we were probably going, right, here's how we've conceded every single goal, here's how we're going to fix it. Realistically, how long do we need to fix this? Because it's a huge problem.
I think our club might be finished.
I think we either need to have 3 defenders and 3 centre backs, play 5 at the back, or we need to add someone else into our midfield. We just need I feel like the way we're playing is just not working. We're too open the way we play.
What gave it away?
Look, I just I think that we need to stop expecting that we're gonna see much, improvement on a weekly basis, because let's also remember, we may be shit now. Yes, we may be not even 1 step, but 2 or 3 steps behind. But every time we take a step forward, every other team in this league is also going to take a step forward.
Well, they'll take 2 steps forward.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that there's only so much we can do at a time to fix these problems. We've got very obvious problems that are going to take a while to fix, and it's not just going to be sign 1 or 2 players in January and it'll fix it. It is going to take a while. And look, I hate to say it, considering that we just overhauled the squad, but the squad's probably going to have to go under another overhaul in January and at the end of the season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To fix these problems. And look, whether or not that means you overhaul the coaching department as well, you get rid of Zrilic, you get rid of whoever, and then replace him, I don't think that's the smart choice. I don't think that's the right choice. I don't think that's the best choice for the club going forward, unless you have a very, very serious, high-profile applicant that you can go with. But then at the same time, we've said this, who the hell would want to take the risk right now?
What the fuck is our strategy, though? Because it seems like either we don't have a strategy or it chops and changes every fucking second because we realise we devise a plan and then we go, oops, that doesn't work. Whether it be Stan's recruitment or David's style of play, we thought, oh no, they'll be fine. Like, because we can all remember in the off-season they were saying, right, our signings are going to work. They're all wow signings. Our brand of football is going to be great to watch. People are going to come through the turnstiles to watch us play. Yet, as we've gone through the season, we've seen our signings stink. Well, they're not at the quality that we need. And there's actually a quote from Gary Marocchi because he was on the radio this morning, but he said the recruitment's been quite poor. The quality of these signings hasn't really lifted the team, and we're struggling. The recruitment should have been organised a lot better with more better quality players rather than having 10 substandard players. Bring in 3 quality players that will lift the local players.
I do think if we brought in 3 quality players, that would make the world of a difference with our current squad.
Yeah. Would you bring in another striker for Taggart to change formation and go to a double striker?
A winger and a 10.
Winger and a 10?
Winger, a 10, maybe a left back as well.
Well,
I'd say centre back.
Well, I'd say a right wing, I'd say a centre back, and I'd say...
Lads, we're getting deja vu. We did this last week, didn't we?
Oh,
we did.
Let's maybe skip this part of the episode.
But
go watch episode 15. It was
great. But it's clear that we need to reinforce, critical positions, because another point as well, we had one of our... He's not a marquee, but he was hyped up as though he was a marquee, in Christian Caicedo, who was, said by Stan,
he's going to put bums on seats.
Going to put bums on seats. He's the next big thing. Is a major signing.
I don't trust a single thing Stan says. And this is another reason why I think David's been lied to, because Stan is a fucking loudmouth, bro. He has the worst verbal diarrhea I've ever heard. Bro does not fucking stop.
2 more wow signings.
2 more wow signings.
It's just... every week it was, watch out, guys. Here comes another wow.
Nice.
We've signed an NPL
Glory
player.
are back.
You're like,
we've signed Sunil Chetri on a 3-year deal.
Stan, I don't want to hear wow signing again until we've signed Mbappe.
That word is banned, blacklisted from the fucking media department or whenever you go on
Every
radio.
time I hear the word wow signing, I'm tweeting #Lazaridis out.
I mentioned it in a previous episode, but I'm like, well, Stan, what is your process for signing players? How do you select players? What information, what data, what highlights or whatever are you using to make your determinations for these players? Because when 3 of the 4 visa signings weren't there against Melbourne Victory, one of them was on a jet ski. And
2 of them were, weren't they?
No, visa signings. One of the visa signings was on a jet ski. The other one was Australian. But
say his name.
Well, Hamzawi was on a jet ski. He put it on his Instagram story, as did Luke Bodner. And I mean, I love Luke, but it was the wrong time to post it. If you posted it the day before or the day after, fine. But
do we think he did that on purpose?
Oh, 100%. Bro, he posted it during the game.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, yeah.
Even if he wasn't jet skiing during the game, him posting it during the game is a piss take, bro. Because not only is he doing that while the game's going on, it means he's also not watching.
Yeah, he's clearly not there.
He's clearly pissed off with the club. I think that's fair to say. I think he's pissed off with the club, but I don't think he's the only one in that boat. But I think at the end of the day, it comes back to the squad that we've built. It's too big, it's too bloated, and there's a severe lack of quality. And especially going into El Spoonico on the weekend against the Jets. I think,
Vandy.
This has the potential to be a nasty 0-0 ball fucking.
No, I reckon like 3-3 balls to the wall.
No, 2-2 actually, because the last 5 games, I'm pretty sure there've been 2-2 draws.
That's a very Newcastle Perth scoreline.
I was thinking
if you can do absolutely anything for me, please, for the love of God, we need to beat the Jets. Please.
They're not going to win another game all year.
Please. Just beat the fucking Jets. That's all I can ask.
Can I say something pretty controversial, which you guys probably are not going to like?
Oh God, here we go. Auckland to 10.
Auckland or 11th.
No, okay. This is about Ross, and I've been thinking about this.
You love him.
Not that. I want to say this, Ross. If you hear this, I obviously have said some pretty nasty things a couple of weeks ago about
nasty, pesky hobbits.
You know, all that kind of stuff. However, with some of the rumors that have been going around and some of the things that we've been maybe being told, maybe not happening, maybe it is happening, there's clearly some movement going on for January, which is a good thing. You know, we just got Merchler back, and I'm happy with that. I'm actually quite happy with that. That's a good bit of business.
Signing. Wow, signing.
But I want another centre back.
Obviously, you bought this club and took over officially. I think it was February 16th or 15th. It was 16th.
Yeah.
And then or around that, I'll give you 1 or 2 weeks from that date onwards was when you made the claim of the whole 12 months you won't recognise the club, right? I am willing to be optimistic with you again and this club and say if you can, you know, turn things around in January and get this club back in form by February, until that point, I'm shutting my mouth about Ross. I'm not saying another bad word about you until that date. And if this club is still where it's at on that date, I'm going to say words that have never come out of my mouth before. Because that is a lie.
Not the word.
Not that word.
No.
But I know this is very random, but I've been thinking about this. I want to be optimistic, and some of the things I've been seeing are positive.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to get to the whole ATO thing coming up, which could also lead to catastrophe. And if that happens before February, then you're cooked. Yeah. But I'm going to lay off the whole Ross date until that date, because I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that we still have another transfer window for him to go, sorry guys, here's the money. I'm keeping that the day that shuts. If we made no signings, I'm going to go then. If we've made signings and we're not winning by February 16th, then I'm done.
Well,
I don't care what happens.
Fingers down on the table.
Yeah.
Well, there just has to be clarity. I think it's as simple as that.
Exactly.
It's like if you can't invest shitloads into January, at least say to all the members and fans and say, look, I take full responsibility for the people that have been brought into the club, for the investment that's been put into the club, because I'm the chairman and owner of the club. But I think fans are really desperate to see something in January, because one of the questions that we had today was where to from here. Yeah, like in terms of the season, because
got no idea.
do we try and save it and go full fucking blitzkrieg in January, or do we just go wrap it up? Let's develop the young kids and see what we can do from there, because that's probably a question for the panel. Like, what do we do from here?
I think we just got to spend big. We can't have another one of those years because it's the same thing every year. The longer it goes on, the more damage is done. Yeah. And I do want to say something real quick. This is a bit out of the blue.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Considering you're pretty good with the council, I will admit, Ross, you managed to get them to fund a training facility. Next thing, if you could work on it, possibly, depending, because you said you're going to stay around and you're is maybe build us a new stadium, because
I thought you were going to say a studio, and I was like,
hey Ross, we still have those horrible things about you, but
be nice.
I mean, I pay for a membership, but I think it would get more people to the game if they didn't have to pay $40 for a general admission ticket. Because
this is true.
In 1 week's time, I'm flying over to the UK and I'm watching a Hibs game. Yeah. Guess how much the tickets were? £5 each.
Yeah,
and it's 20,000 stadium.
But it's also a difference though in terms of why they charge the rent that they do. I mean, we've got one of the shittiest deals from what it seems in the A-League, where because of the rent that's charged to us by HBF Park and Venues West, because despite being a major tenant, is borderline a piss take. So that's something that Ross and Venues West and maybe the state government can look to negotiate with.
You know what we need? We need Ross to make Venues West an offer they can't refuse, is what we need.
I mean, they need to do something about it, because charging $40 for a ticket, considering the football we're playing.
Well, why would anyone want to go to the game on Saturday? Because I was on the Far Post podcast last night, and one of the points that Neil made was the glory in terms of a product. They're not actually advertising anything for fans to want to come to the games, especially the Victory game, where it was like, what the fuck are we doing?
Every home game to me is like paying $40 to get kicked in the nuts and then leave.
Yeah.
That is what it feels like. I genuinely feel like I'm just spending money to ruin my week and then just go home.
Alex, Lockie Barr on 93.7 Nova said, "Come on, guys, get down to the Glory and support us." I heard it on the radio this morning.
I mean, one thing I
It's
want
me,
to
Josh
note
Wilson.
as well was in 18-19 season. It was 18-19
It was, yes.
season, yeah. I remember my neighbours actually went to their first Glory game with their kids, and they don't follow football at all.
Yeah.
And they said, the reason we went is because if you pay for an adult ticket,
Yes.
the kids can come for
Yep,
$5.
it was a summer promo they did. So many people went to those games.
Yep.
Like, I get inflation's a thing, but they should look to do things like that.
I mean,
because
Ross gave out a bunch of free tickets.
Imagine you take a family
Yeah.
of 4. It's like...
I was supposed
bother doing
to.
math.
I was supposed to take my
$150.
girlfriend to her first live football game this year, right?
Female friend.
I was supposed to take my girlfriend to her first live football game this year for the Glory, right?
Right.
I just cannot be bothered, right? and not because I don't want to
watch this.
because I know for a fact that if I took her to watch a game such as the game against Melbourne City, oh my God.
She's never going back.
No, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Like, I feel embarrassed.
This game might be the only game you can take her to this year.
This is it.
With this one against Newcastle.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want to, bro. I've got a Christmas party. Here's the thing. Any other year with the Glory, if there was a Christmas party or Glory, I'd say, bin that off. I'll catch you next
this
Christmas
year
and I'll go to
it's
the
like,
Glory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is the only year where I'm genuinely like, do I want to waste my Saturday night going to the Glory, or should I just like, go to Christmas with all my loved ones and my family and, stuff?
No.
Well,
She'll probably bin
I've got a vlog to record.
She'll probably bin you off and go with Will to his gold seats.
I thought you were going to say Benjamin Silver.
there was a few stats that I wanted to also raise from back in the game, from the Victory game. Few players, and it needs to be singled out because it's emblematic of a team problem.
Yep.
Dribble past. So this is the amount of times a player was dribble past.
Can I guess? Who's like number one?
Everybody gets it.
No. Okay. I haven't looked, but I'm just judging off the game. Wow.
Yeah.
Taras has got to be there somewhere, right?
Yeah. Okay. So Taras is someone that, for me, look, you're a good midfielder, but what you showed in pre-season and what you're showing this season is like, fuck, bro.
What happened to you?
Completely different. Because
Taras was just better at running, positioning, passing, defending. He'd be a really good
midfielder. But it's fucked because I thought he was like a good defensive midfielder, but he got dribble past 4 times and only won 2 out of his 9 total ground duels.
2 out of 9.
2 out of 9.
I got told by Jacob that this man was one of the best young defensive midfielders in Australia.
Yeah,
and he
then proceeded to get 4 assists in the Australia Cup and has done nothing of note defensively ever since.
Risdon dribble past 3 times, along with Kanga, Carluccio, and Go. Ground duels 1, Risdon 6 out of 13, Kanga 2 out of 8, Carluccio 1 out of 6, and Ngo 1 out of 4.
In pre-season, we played 3 in the midfield, right?
No, it's no different. No, it's the same what we're doing now.
Same.
Right.
But
we were using Gomulka as a 10.
We were, but we tried that during the season and it didn't work.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There's so many ideas that we tried in pre-season where it was like, oh yeah, no, this looks really good against an NPL side. And then we go into the A-League and then it's like, let's try these hectic, cool tactics. And then next minute, 40 minutes and we're 5-0 down. And Jesus, it's not looking good, is it? So it just baffles me that we're in the position that we're in. I think we probably did get sold a bit of a pipe dream in the sense of we're going to be going up the top of the table fairly quickly next season. We're going to make finals, all this talk. Yeah. Because I think from all departments, like we've said too many times throughout the season, we've got it so spectacularly wrong.
So badly.
I want to say as well regarding the players that got dribbled past the most. Look, names like Carluccio and Ngo I can understand. They're wingers. They're not always going to be able to, force the fullback back in the press. That's fine, whatever. Gomulka, we've already talked about. That's bad. Risdon, I understand.
He was on a yellow card because he was doing well before the yellow, which just to provide some context. He got dribbled past more because he was on the yellow.
And before we joined, you and I discussed this in depth last year about how one of his worst traits is that he does often get beaten.
But he's also high volume.
Absolutely, but he needs someone down that side to cover. A big concern for me is that Kanga is tied second on that list. As centre back is tied second on most dribbled past players.
He's someone that I initially thought, wow, this dude. Oh, fuck, I used the word, but it was someone that I thought is going to be a good player for us, but. These last few games in particular, he's been dreadful.
2 out of 8 ground duel wins as well is ridiculous.
But if this is how we defend properly, then we're screwed. Because the body position for Kanga when he was going out to face Mashash, it was too square, and it was basically like he stood there and it just allowed Mashash to turn onto his right foot and then shoot past. It's like, and he's not the only one, but it's like when this guy is one of your experienced players. We were all very excited when he signed, and he's getting, taken apart like he is now. I'm just...
Yeah. No, I completely agree. What Alex said there, I try not to... You're the stat guy.
Yeah.
And imagine maybe I should know the stats. I like to be literally my raw take when you tell me, I'm like, okay, wow.
Yeah.
Probably not the best, but I like to keep it that way.
He's got some aura or something with stats, because I tried to use stats in a YouTube video, and then I had people on Twitter telling me I was a using stats to judge a game.
Oh, you can't use
bleep that out as well.
You're going to have to blurb that out.
But what Alex said about the ground, a centre back going 2 of 8 on ground duels.
Yeah.
What I want to scream.
What's the stigma? Honestly,
no.
Like, but just watch. It's not even funny. Like, just as like a random case study, just watch how we individually and collectively defend. Like, watch what we do. Watch how we approach it. Watch how players get past us so easily. And I know we're playing Victory. I know they've got some fucking techie ass wingers, but the fact that it was so easy, especially in the first half. Like, I remember when we were watching it all at the shoe, and it was like, why has someone not crunched Arzani yet? Like Risdon did. Risdon can somewhat hold his head up high, because up until the yellow card, he had Arzani on toast.
Yeah.
Once he got the yellow card, then it was like, shit. He's not going to be as impactful as he was before.
I thought we were playing like we were scared. Like no
player
looked like there was no aggression. I know we said this earlier in the podcast, but there was a lack of passion as well. It just didn't feel there was no passion or aggression. Yeah.
It's a major concern as well. I know we already mentioned it briefly, but the fact that 3 of our 4 visa signings weren't even included. You know?
Yeah. Again. Yeah. Exactly.
Again. Yeah.
The fact that 3 of our 4 visa signings aren't included. And some of our highest paid players, one of them is now our backup keeper, and then the other one has an injury problem that we don't know any time frame for when he's getting back. And then you've got experienced players like Brandon O'Neill that we brought in to make a difference.
How's O'Neill getting fucking 6 minutes? Back-to-back games. He should be in the midfield, and there should be... see what he does next to Pennington. Because Pennington, if we're going to talk about a positive, for me, one of the only players that deserves a bit of praise from the game was Pennington. And he's slowly lodging a case for the MGP. In the sense of how he started.
If nothing changes,
Yeah, if nothing changes.
I rate him.
Because he's been so solid. Oh, that's great. But he's been solid. That's been the good thing.
He's been
a shining light.
And you're sort of a bit iffy about it.
Yeah, I literally said to James, I remember we finally was like, oh my gosh, we got Pennington. You know how cool that is? James was like,
but I'm iffy about
most players.
Yeah.
Thank you for backing me up.
No.
I'm iffy about most players.
I will call you out on this. You are always that guy that when we get a signing that we're all like, oh, this is good signing. You're like,
I got a shit on it.
I don't know. I found this random guy in North Korea. He actually looks like a much better option.
In North Korea.
Can I ask a question?
Bullshit! You've never looked at players in North Korea.
Can I ask a question for the panel?
Yes.
It's once again, this is nothing. I said I wouldn't go negative, so I'm not. It is about Ross.
No.
I thought you weren't going to talk about it.
No. I said I would talk, but I'm not saying anything bad. It's just a question about Ross, and I have it for everybody. I'll start with you, Josh. We'll go down. If Ross comes out, right, and says at some point, before that deadline, which I previously said, hey guys, sorry, kind of stuffed up by telling you this. Gonna need some more time, and he explains why. Do you forgive him and say, okay, thank you for the explanation, we will wait, or are you just like, shut up, I don't want to hear it? Like, I said start with Josh, not you.
Articulately than that, but anyway.
But are you instantly going to be like, yes, thank you, Ross, we appreciate the communication, or are you going to be like, I don't want to hear it, bro?
If it was genuine, not some like...
An email.
Not an email, like... That's
a members only email, yeah.
If it's an actual genuine apology,
a press conference or something.
I'd be like...
Okay. Fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you can see it's genuine.
I appreciate that. I still wouldn't be happy with him.
No,
I'm still annoyed,
but I would appreciate the communication
but
more
I'd
than
appreciate it.
James?
Look, I think Ross just in general, and we've been banging on about it for a long time now.
Yeah.
Not like that, but almost like that. He just needs to be clear, and he just needs to be honest. And if he just says, not in a friggin' email, because
A members only email.
The last email that he did, I mean, like that hit like a wet
Which
fart.
probably wasn't him, by the way.
You want an apology? You buy a membership.
Someone probably was just like, "Hey, Ross, you probably say something. Do it for me."
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, right? It's like we want to all hear something genuine from him, where he's saying either in the form of a press conference or he speaks at a fan forum to multiple fans, a large group of fans or small groups, whatever's easy.
Something in person, something personal.
and just say, look, here's why we are where we are.
Yep.
I acknowledge that it hasn't been good enough. I accept that for whatever reason that it hasn't been good enough, because quite clearly sometimes you can have a shitty start to a season, but then there's what we've had.
Yeah.
And so when you're almost breaking records for the wrong reasons, then there has to be some accountability, and he just needs to be honest.
Yep.
Just needs to be honest and find a way to not only have communication for that point, but more frequent communication, either through he or through other directors or even the CEO, have like a fortnightly or monthly update, or even have Radic get, Twitter or something like Tony Pignata did when the old CEO.
Oh, I miss him.
On Twitter or Instagram, you could ask him pretty much fucking anything. I remember one time I asked him, bro, are we signing this player? And he said, no.
But Pignata was like...
Hey, Tony, what'd you have for breakfast this morning? I don't know, mate. But
cornflakes. Yeah, it's a wow signing.
He was class when he was here. You could just talk to him when you just tag him and he respond to you.
That's a point for the club. Anthony, you've got to get some sort of social media.
Yeah.
Get on Twitter, get on Facebook, and be available, because that, I reckon, will solve 50% of the problems.
I completely agree.
I feel a little bit bad for Pignata, because I was sitting next to him once in like the open air boxes a couple seasons ago.
Oh yeah.
And G Collie was just like got subbed on, and I was yelling, "Sue!"
No.
So, Alex, your turn to answer the question.
Yeah, thanks for paying attention, guys.
If it was a genuine
G-Collie,
it was a genuine apology,
Wait,
right?
what?
An actual interview.
What?
It's my time to speak. If it was genuinely like an apology, an interview, and he said, "I need more time. This is the reason why it's gone so wrong. This is what I'm planning to do in the future," I'd say, "Thank you. I appreciate that. Why did you not tell us this like
Before,
6 months ago,
at the start.
9 months ago, 12 months ago?" Like, they've always said, "Oh, we have this plan. We know."
He hasn't been here for 12
Master
months,
plan.
Huh?
He hasn't been here for 12
No, but you
months,
said
so-
once he gets to that.
Okay,
date,
yeah.
Yeah,
February,
master.
13th. Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
David saying,
I'm listening.
but even David saying behind the scenes, the owners are working on some magical, mystical thing, and I'm like,
They're watching
what
Harry
are we-
Potter and trying to
what are
learn
we-
how to fucking
well, it's like-
Expelliarmus.
What?
Oh, I was going to say
Ross having like the wand is like Expelliarmus or something, but like what's actually happening? What the fuck?
Wait, no. It's that.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, cool.
That's what we were all laughing at when you were talking.
So, no, but
No, I'm so confused. We'll tell you after.
But it's I'm just saying, like, Ross, if he at the start was somewhat realistic and said, all right, I want to win the toilet seat, I want to get us back into Asia, probably can't do it next season. Here's why.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we're writing off the season. Through X, Y, and Z, here's how we're going to make the finals as a starting point.
Yep.
Year 2, here's how we're going to, launch an assault at the title. And year 3, here's how we're going to be back in Asia.
Disagree.
What do you mean?
I think I'm sick of hearing it. I think it will do more damage. I don't think it's gotten to a point where even if they say all these things, we've been that desensitized by it. Because what were they saying like 7 weeks ago? Oh, top 6 at an absolute minimum. This is how we're going to do it. Wow, signings, this, that.
But there's a difference to it, though. Like, I understand what you're saying, where you don't want to be fed any more false promises. But
they can't guarantee it. They can't.
No,
give
but if you got
there's no guarantee that. Like, they might think they've done the right things, but they can't.
But if you give a specific
it.
plan, though,
but here's the thing.
they can
They
build
might have a
towards it.
plan.
Yeah, but
they
if they
might have
say-
a really good plan, but things go to shit.
No, but we don't know what the plan is to begin
Exactly.
with.
And the thing is, they say we will get top 6. I don't want
How?
to hear that either.
No,
but I
it's
want to
how.
hear. I want to hear. We want to push for top 6, and this is how we're going to do it.
That's the important point. How? Not saying. Oh, you will see a totally different club in 12 months' time.
Yeah.
We want to become a powerhouse club. That's vague. Anyone can say that. Fucking Brisbane Roar can say that, even though they're shit. We want to be a powerhouse club. Everyone wants to be a top club. But how are you going to do it? Because a good example, right? I think Stan, when he was first brought in as director of football, said, "Oh, we like the Mariners model."
Yeah.
As soon as I heard that from Stan, by the way, as soon as I heard that from Stan, I was like, oh no.
No, but it's misunderstanding why Mariners went the way that they did. Because Montgomery was with the 23s and the 18s. He knew all the players and he brought them through.
Yeah.
And
And
he
they
got
had
his
no money.
Well, and he also got the visa signings right. We're just going, okay, well, you can use that strategy, but why?
I don't want this shit. I don't want to be fed this. I don't want to be fed this. I want to see it. I want to see it.
I want to see it right now.
I want to be like Sydney, and everyone on Twitter's going, "Oh wow, the signings that Perth Glory have made are cracker." I'm going to put him my season prediction. I'm going to put
He's
him
losing it.
top 3.
He's lost it.
We're not that club, as much as I'd love
Josh,
it
do you
to
not want to? Do you not want to?
We were 5 years ago.
No, because Sage somehow found money and then gave it all
Well,
to
why
Papa.
can't Ross?
Because we don't know what his finances are like.
We do. He owns $1 billion company.
Yeah, but that's different though, because it's not his money that he's put in for his projects.
Yeah, I get that.
He's not when he buys a project or he buys a bit of land, that's not Ross going onto his Apple wallet and saying, yeah, 100 mil done.
I don't want this. Yeah, this is how we're going to do this. We're going to be like Central Coast Mariners because it's stylish. I want to see the signings.
Yeah, but you want to explain, you want to have reasoning behind it though, Josh.
He's lost.
You want to have reasoning behind what we're doing, not just let's just throw more players at the problem.
No, I agree with Josh. Let's just buy every player on the market and just see what happens.
Ross gets like the transfer budget.
You know,
increase.
I signed this
Bring
one
back
really
Sturridge.
good guy on career mode this one time, actually. I mean,
Just put the microphone in the bag.
The thing is, after I saw David's relic, I was like, I'm excited. This is like they're actually taking action. Then after that, it just went downhill.
No, it went downhill round 1. Or in the Australia Cup when we lost to the Queensland side.
Bentley Greens are us, whatever they were. I don't know.
No,
Morton or whatever the
City.
hell. Yeah.
How do you lose to Queensland NPL side? by the way?
We've gone back nearly 10 weeks now.
fuck you, Don Ball.
So,
I hate this club!
Okay. Right.
okay. So moving on to Newcastle. Saturday blockbuster.
I get the reference, Father. That's funny.
Why? Okay. What are our thoughts?
It's not really a blockbuster, is it?
It's called sarcasm, Josh.
No, but our expectations are that low. We're excited to play Newcastle because it.
Cockbuster.
Who said that?
I said it's a cockbuster.
You're busting my balls, Glory.
Right, we should probably cut that out.
That's staying in.
No, but we have to cut out the I hate this club. That's going to break people's ears.
I'll lower the sound. No, okay. Back to the question. What are our thoughts against Newcastle? What do we think?
Start with who?
Be honest. Will.
Hi.
And then we'll work down.
Hey.
Hello.
I'm actually Josh just set me off on like I'm gonna lose it too. Like he's made me angry now because I agree with him. It
doesn't matter.
Yeah. In reality, I think I'm gonna say we win, but
why? How?
Wait, hear me out.
Follow the pattern.
I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to explain why it's actually a bad thing.
Wow.
Okay. I think we beat Newcastle.
Why and how?
I think we get a tag at masterclass where he puts us on a back, like similar to Adelaide, where he gave us 2. I think at home he'll do a little bit better. He always seems to play a lot better when he's at home, when he gets the right service, and obviously Newcastle's defence is not great.
He has no service.
You never know. I'm just saying.
One touch in the opposition box.
This is me being incredibly optimistic, right? Delusional,
yeah,
sure.
Okay.
Whether it's 1-0 or it's a 2-1 or it's whatever, I do think we'll win. However, it's going to be a fluke. Yep. It's going to be one of the worst games of football that we've ever seen again, but we somehow pull the cat out of the bag.
Right.
And the reason it's bad is because then people like Stan and maybe Ross, if he actually talks.
He'll be there at the game on Saturday.
Okay.
I can't confirm that.
They're going to use it as like you see guys, we won, and then they're going to use that as a parachute or a cushion As like, well, you guys can't say too much because we won this game.
Stop
we're,
your
we're
mean
building,
talking.
guys. We can do so much
So,
better. No, it was a bad game.
I hope
lost.
we lose then, because then maybe that will make Ross go.
I don't hope we lose.
No.
I need to spend
No.
more in January.
I think we win, but I think they're going to use that as like a parachute for themselves. Like, we'll see, we're building, guys. We won a game, and that's why why it's going to be bad.
I think they wouldn't do it because that would just because they've barely. When was the last time Stan or Ross was on radio and was trying to hype shit up?
Well,
Stan was
when
not-
you lose 5-0, it's pretty hard to say anything
but
positive.
This is the thing. Even if we do beat Newcastle, unless it's spectacular football that we play,
like a 5-0 drubbing. Yeah.
Well, you never know. I mean, the coach did say that he's going to bring the boxing gloves to training, Robbie Stanton. So maybe if all the players are all bashed out pre-game, we might actually have a chance of beating, a team for the first time since February.
Honestly, I think we'll draw and it'll be a boring game of football.
Robbie Stanton's such a flop, bro.
Would you mind letting Josh talk?
No,
Let him talk.
I actually don't like this.
Thank you, Will. I really appreciate it.
Okay, Josh, mate. Anytime.
Keep going.
Well, I think it will be a boring game, as you said, and it will be a
0-0.
but I still think it will be a draw.
Yeah. Why?
2-2. Why? Because I haven't seen any improvement in however so long, and I just think we play boring football with no creativity. Pending if Osler's back, he might make a little bit of a difference, but still not enough.
So what you're saying is you're coping.
I'm what?
You're
Coping.
I mean, it also depends.
We play shit football. We fucking suck. I think we get a point.
It also depends on the lineup, right? Because we're saying all this. We could get to the lineup, and it's like, what the hell is this?
But we've been saying that for years, though. Will, in fairness, like when have we ever had a game where we've looked on Twitter or Instagram and seen the lineup and gone, "Oh, that's actually a really good lineup."
Well, back in the Popovich era, when we actually had good players.
Sorry, no, as in particularly Stadge and Ruben, Richie. That's
when
era.
we had one game under Stadge last year. Where
was it Wanderers?
Yes, where everyone was healthy. Collar was back. Taggart was healthy. Williams was fully fit off the bench.
Oh.
And that's the game we won, wasn't it?
No, we lost that.
we lost that.
I
I'm talking about the game on the way away from home.
The home one. The home one. Was
that
where
one.
We started with
Yes, I went to the game so confident.
Because it was Taggart, Williams, and then you had Benny, Collar, and then Musti and G, and then you had pretty much a full strength back line.
Yep.
And we still fumbled it.
Because who was our centre back that was out for so long and then he came back?
Beavers.
Was it Beavers? Yeah, Beavers came back.
He wasn't in that game against West City.
I'm thinking of a different game. But there was one particular home game I went to. I think it was a draw, where I was I went there very confident.
Yep.
And then all my hopes and dreams just got shattered because we played total crap.
Yep.
But that was so even then false positives. I was so happy with that lineup and it was horrible. So
I
who
wonder
cares?
if Millet is close to returning.
No, I don't think so. I haven't heard no one's heard a word about him.
Well,
Could he possibly be out in January?
It depends how long that injury is.
It depends, but I think Brisbane aren't exactly a good team. We know that, but if they were getting,
they're below us, James.
But if
they're bad.
But if they're allowing Miliusnic to go,
yeah,
even though we think he's a good player, then there was at least a few red flags for me.
But
for me,
they do that shit and then sign Ben Halloran.
I know that. I know, but Zadkiewicz has wanted Halloran for years, though. But the point is that Miliusnic was one of our big signings, and hopefully through no fault of his own, and just really unfortunate, he did his hamstring twice. So hopefully we do get some good inclusions back. But Alex, what do you think about the Newcastle game?
I think we win 3-1. And you want to know why?
How and why?
Here's the thing.
Detailed
right?
plan.
I have no logical reasoning behind this whatsoever, but here's the... No. Hold on.
Do we have logic and reasoning?
Perth Glory has a habit of doing this thing where they play absolute shit and do absolutely nothing redeemable about any of their games, but then out of nowhere, once in a while, they will just pop up and just play fucking beautiful football against a shit opponent, and we will think, Gloria back, we're so back, oh my god. We did it with the Mariners last year, where we popped up and played some beautiful football against the Mariners opening the season. We thought, oh my god, we're going to cook this season. Then we went and played like shit in our following games. And it's the same with our away record as well. When we went and we beat the Wanderers last year.
That came out of nowhere.
I reckon the Glory are just going to have one of those games where we're going in thinking oh god, maybe we can win 1-0, maybe we can scrape something here, and we just... you know what I mean?
Do you not think that was only something under Tony Sage, and now the Glory isn't really the Glory anymore?
No, I reckon it'll be a combination of HBF Park vibes and Newcastle Jets bozo gene that gets us.
I have a slight feeling that we may lose 3-1.
I share that feeling.
I think we probably will lose, but you know what? I'm coping, so screw you guys.
What
I want 3
happens
points.
where to from here if we do lose?
Not
that it makes a difference.
If we lose, then there probably should be a club statement. On Monday morning.
I'm going to be writing very mean email.
For right or wrong, but on a serious point, this is a must-win of seismic proportions, and that everyone in the club should be absolutely hoping that we somehow get a win against Newcastle. Otherwise, if you can't beat Newcastle and then you can't beat Brisbane, and then you've got Weston and MacArthur at some point as well. Three of those 4 games are at home, I'm pretty sure.
They are, yeah.
You've got to be picking up maximum points if you want to have even a slither of a hope of making the finals. And assuming somehow we can do a madness in January, I'm not expecting it, but I hope we do see it. We need to start picking up points somewhere, man.
What are your predictions for Newcastle?
Fuck, Josh. No worries, fair play, mate. I think I'm gonna say 90th minute winner.
Really?
For who?
For us,
bros. We're all coping so bad.
For us, I think.
James said it, so we're losing.
Yeah, more or less. Put your money in the Newcastle win. No, I think we'll somehow hang in, and then Williams will come off the bench and a late double.
I just want to say, when we score, if we score,
we've not scored at home all season.
Hold on. If we score,
wait a minute.
I want it to be literally anyone other than Taggart and Williams. I just want to see someone else.
Nat Blair.
Ollie Sale.
Give me a goal for Ngo. Give me a goal for Faisal. Give me another goal for Bagari.
Give me a Nazmo. Give me a Nazmo.
Give me a goal for a Nazmo. Just give me something that's not just Taggart saving our ass again.
A doggy goal would be nice. I'd love a Kalichi.
Oh, I need Jared.
I need Kalichi to score and run straight to the bay and just gets
right into it. Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, it's a shame because it looks like he's on the outer, but Kalen, I'd like to start him because I think, especially on the corners, I think it'll be.
Well, I think like Matthias mentioned in the comment about there needs to be a change in the centre back partnership. Then I think probably Majex should be considered because I think as another point to the Newcastle game, would you make any changes to the team?
Yes.
What?
If he's fit, I want Hamzawi back. If he's fit, because
because he's your FIFA bro.
And on the Jets,
because I think that he's been improving a lot the last few games we've seen him. Like defensively, he's still a bit shaky on the ball, but defensively, he's really shown he's learning from his mistakes, and that's all you can ask of a player who's made mistakes. So I like that a lot. I want Taris swapped out for Brandon if Brandon's fit. I want Abdul in to start. And I want to give him another go against a Newcastle defence. It's probably not as much as what he's been put up against with a few games. At the beginning of the season, he had some
an easier
task. I wanted to get some confidence back. I would like Doggy to start.
Do you make a change to the centre back partnership? Yeah,
I would like Zach in, Bar out, keep Kanga, Zach and Kanga.
What about you, Alex?
I would also want Ollie back in too. I want to give him another go.
Yeah, Cookie. Yeah, and then we'll let you go, Alex. I think Cookie for the audition as to be the number one moving forward. If Sale's not going to be the guy, I don't think he's putting the best and most strongest case forward. No. Yes, the defense hasn't helped, but I don't think individually
he just lacks
helped.
Leadership qualities, man. He just lacks that.
No aura or a presence. Yeah, that's fair. What do you think about the lineup? Would you make any changes?
Look, in terms of the goalkeepers, it purely depends on the factors if Sale's going to be going or not. If he's going to be going, stick with Cameron's. No need to move him out. But if you're not planning on getting rid of Sale, you put Sale right back in there and you say, oh my God, I'm so sorry for ever doubting you. The back four, I'd go Risdon, Kanga, Litalaski, Hamzawi, pretty much just how
we thought.
Will said. 2 CDMs, I want Pennington, Brandon.
Yep.
I want to stick with Bagaria at Cam.
Yeah,
but I would really like to see, if he's fit, I would really like to see Caicedo try on that right wing. I would really like to see that.
I don't think he wasn't even in the squad.
Can I say my lineup?
But I'm not even finished.
Not finished yet. Can he? No, but
look, if Caicedo's not going to start, I want Doggy on that right wing.
I agree.
He didn't do much against Victory, but he didn't have the ball.
Sorry.
But Faisal on the left wing, I agree with. Taggart up top, I agree with. Look, if you're not going to start Doggy...
So you just literally took my lineup and said, I want that.
No, I took your lineup and said, I want Caicedo starting over Carluccio.
If he's fit.
If he's fit.
Josh?
I want a front three.
Front three?
Yeah, I was close to saying that, actually.
I would like a front three.
I was that much like in a snooze fest just listening to Alex.
Just literally saying my exact thing, yeah.
Qua, Tags, Osler. Up front.
Right.
Then the midfield, Pennington, and I know this is controversial, but Gamulka.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Just because I don't think if you...
That was just not necessary, right?
O'Neill sort of would fit better if you've got like, I just don't think he suits our system. He's too slow. Like, he can't
Then
move.
why'd we sign him?
I know, it was just
Because he's from WA.
He just doesn't fit in.
He's a good player, but like,
I want to fit him in, but I
Why'd you
just
sign him?
can't.
Can I give a take that you guys are going to call me a fucking idiot for?
Alex, let Josh finish
No,
a
no, no,
statement
please.
challenge impossible.
I think.
Don't say it.
I think.
Hold on.
Do not say it, Alex.
I think Bodnar would be a better partner for Pennington
No, I
than
agree.
O'Neill and Gamulka.
No. I think Pennington Bodnar would be a good two. But anyway, let me finish, Alex.
Dork.
Keep going.
I said my midfield. Yeah, Pennington, Gamulka. Back four of Hamzawi.
Yep.
And then Barr. I found he got caught off guard and out of position a lot of times. And I know he's experienced, but I'd rather give someone like Majex or Zach a go next to Kanga. And I know Kanga hasn't been great, but he's better than Barr. So I think you kind of have to play
The
him.
deadpan on that was great. Better than Bar.
And then obviously my goat, Josh Risdon.
Yeah. And then in goal?
To be honest, I think Cammy Cook's been playing quite well. I'd start him again.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
Look, like I said, if we are looking to offload Ollie Sale, it only makes sense to keep Cammy
Yeah, of course.
starting.
But I think if he starts, then we know we're keeping him. And if he doesn't start, then it's a bit of an indicator. Okay, maybe now it's just like, okay, he's going.
I'll be very intrigued to see what happens with Caicedo in particular.
If he's not in the squad again, then it's like, all right, he's probably
Because it's
done.
like, you know, obviously he had the reaction that he did against Adelaide, but it's like, you know...
It just pisses me off, though, because he looked really, really promising in the one time that we actually did get to see him.
I think
fully.
he's in Turkey, though.
What?
Oh, brother, stop.
Oh.
Because of his hair.
Oh my days! Can we not
Fucking
insult the
hell.
imports,
Sorry.
James?
They've copped
is that
all
all
his
shit?
shit?
Okay.
The imports. that's not a great way of saying it.
Why have you made it weird?
The imports.
Why have you made it weird?
Can we not insult
Fine.
the imports?
The visa side.
They have
There's
feelings
some-
too.
Any final thoughts before we wrap things
Well,
up?
James, you haven't given us our lineup. Your
My
lineup.
lineup? Taggart.
Wow. Big goal.
Yeah, no shit. Taggart, Quart and Faisal.
Oh wait, what? Who goes to the right?
Quart.
Quar on the right.
And
Okay.
they can both interchange.
All right.
I'd then have Bulgaria.
Yeah.
I'd have...
Is it Bulgaria or Bulgaria? Because that's what they say on...
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
I thought it was Bulgaria.
I don't think it really matters. The J is silent. As we found out. I would also go midfield, like we're going... Pennington and O'Neill. Left back, Hamzawi, if he's fit and not on a jet ski. Lizalaiski and Kanga as the two centre backs. Right back, Risdon, and goalkeeper for now, Cammy Cook.
Shut
So,
up, Josh.
What?
James, I just want to get your... Because I agree on paper, O'Neill, but I want to get your reasoning why O'Neill.
Why? Because I've said it. Well, bro, lots of times throughout the pod, I've said that Gamulka probably is not. He hasn't shown his preseason form in the A League.
100% agree.
But
do I think he's up to level? No.
The issue is it's bigger than an individual player. It's a system problem.
Yes.
It's a system problem because you could chuck anyone in there in the midfield and it's still going to go to shit.
But what makes you think that Brandon O'Neill would be
Something
better?
different.
Pennington's our best midfielder. And O'Neill
The problem is with
better.
O'Neill, I feel like because we're only playing two midfielders, you need more legs, right?
Yeah, but
O'Neill doesn't have those legs.
But it doesn't matter. I'd rather we had someone like, who can ping passes from deeper positions better than O'Neill in the midfield.
Bodnar.
Yes! He said it, yes!
No, but on a serious point. I mean, we love Bodnar, but like, you know,
On a serious...
Brano has the best passing range out of any midfielder that
What do
we've
you
got.
think, Alex? I think Bodnar.
I think that Pennington's our best midfielder, and I think out of the two, O'Neill or Gamulka, O'Neill probably complements him a lot better because he can fit that deep-lying playmaker role.
Oh, yeah.
If you're looking for someone more defensively solid, I honestly would make a case that Bodnar's probably a better partner for Pennington than O'Neill and over Gamulka, because Gamulka looks to get forward and play make a bit more, and O'Neill prefers to sit further back to play make, but also he doesn't have the legs that...
Because that's the thing as well. Could you, if we can play a bit quicker with O'Neill as well, he could get those passes out to the likes of, let's say with my lineup, you got Faisal and Quar, get them into isolated positions against their fullback, and then back them to take their respective opponent on, because we don't get to those situations enough.
I think you guys are right. Like, realistically, between O'Neill and Gamulka, Bodnar is the choice.
But just to reiterate, the problem is system though, Josh, because you can have anyone in there, it's not going to make a difference. We're still conceding lots of goals every game.
I also think Bodnar's probably not even an option, is he? Because I don't think we could be wrong. It's just when you look at it from an outsider's perspective, it sure looks like he's going to get mutual in January. and he's going to go somewhere else because he hasn't been in the squad, any form of rotation for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then he's posting jet ski photos during games. I agree, if Bodnar was an option, we should try him out, but I just don't think he actually is an option for us to pick from. That's why I'm okay, because he's a good player. I just don't think he's going to be an option.
It might not be feasible at this moment. No. So. Any final thoughts?
Nah. No, I just want to get to the game and see what happens and then complain about it on the podcast again.
It's too hot in here. Let's fucking wrap this up, please.
All right.
Who needs a house out in Hackensack? Is that all you get?
Thank you all so much for watching episode 16 of the Glory Days podcast. We'll be back live with you next week. Not live, actually, because these are pre-recorded.
They're premieres.
You've just dated them all.
For all of you in the YouTube comment section, haha, have that one.
You can't see me.
Anyways, thank you all so much. We'll see you next week for our breakdown of the Newcastle Jets game, and hopefully we're not going to have a breakdown. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, as well as following our Twitter and email and whatever.
Glory Days 1996
Absolutely.
on Twitter, and I think that's about it.
That's about it. Thank you guys all so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Hi guys, we're back. This is an edited clip in at the end because we forgot to discuss the main
Can we not
point.
just pretend we're still talking?
No, we can't.
Sorry.
Because we're going to own up to the fuck up and we're going to put this in at the end.
Right, so we were meant to talk about the ATO and we're going to talk about the ATO report. Relax. So the report came out, what was it, Tuesday night? Monday night, right? Monday night.
Work.
So it came out on the Australian around about 4:30. Basically, for those who don't know, the tax office is trying to appoint liquidators. They filed legal action last week against Perth Glory's new owners, Perth Glory Football Club Proprietary Limited, owned by Ross Pelligra, seeking wind-up orders and the appointment of liquidators. It seems unlikely the ATO's action relates to any of the club's long-running financial troubles. It's not entirely clear what's going on because the ATO haven't commented and the federal court is yet to release the tax office's legal filings. Glory hasn't been served with the claim yet, so they don't know either. Jason Bontempo, one of the directors, believes it's all a mistake. It's the first time he heard about it. Confident it's an administrative error. Bontempo assured Margin Core that Glory are not in any financial trouble. Pelligra said he was as mystified as everybody else, saying he'd sort out the trouble with the ATO just as soon as he worked out what it was.
Okay.
So, just to clarify, it's the holding company. That's what it looks like, that this is all being directed to, not actually Glory.
So I think everyone wants to know, should we be worried?
Well, we can't really comment because we don't know enough information. And that's probably the big point, because it's a legal matter before the courts and it won't be there until, the court hearing won't be until February. We can't really comment too much about it other than the statement itself saying it might be because of Tony Sage. That for me, I was like, no,
we were told that wasn't a thing.
At least according to the Australians thing, it's got nothing to do with Sage.
I don't want to worry you, James. Can I bring up something funny, which I just realised now that you said that?
Okay.
So the court case is in February, right?
Right.
If I take you to February 2025, that's when the case is, right?
February 16.
No. It was February 15.
16.
No, it was 2015, was it not?
When?
Let's go back 10 years ago on the day. What happened?
No.
February 2015. Can someone please remind me what happened in February of 2015?
Jason Brewer said we are not in trouble.
Yes. I just want to put it out there. It's the 10-year anniversary of this happening, and here we are again.
I think just
won't
to
recognise
summarise
the club in 12 months, they said.
Because it's gone.
I mean, Josh said it pretty well, like he summarised it pretty well. So if the ATO motion proceeds, Ross doesn't meet the margin call, the club would end up for sale again.
Yep.
But that's, again, we need to know more information before we can make
judgment or
comments, or to actually analyse it properly. And I think we're all pretty safe in saying we know sweet fuck all about what.
So in other words, we've just left you on a massive cliffhanger until February. Thank you so much for watching the episode, guys.
Thanks,
next
guys.
week. Honestly, I'm genuinely just let's end it like that.